Today you're going to learn 5 essential production techniques from Oskar Matkay's breakthrough track Make Me Feel. You might know him from his MOOC performances on Instagram or from his Spotify, where he has quickly gained over 75 million plays on his latest track Make Me Feel. My name is Leo Loretti. I'm a producer and owner of Abstract Music Lab, and I'm super excited to be here on Production Music Live's channel. We love Oskar's music, and we took a deep dive into his production, and there's so much cool thing to look into, so let's get started. Oskar's tracks are really cool because the lead is normally really memorable. We've recreated the MOOC sounds that he made in his song Make Me Feel into 2 serum sounds. One lower one, as you can listen here, which is the blue one, and one higher one, which is playing the 3rd of the root note of the sound, as you can see it over here. Now, listen to what it would happen if we played the root note. It's okay, but the 3rd just makes it a lot more emotional. But the key of this MIDI is in the spacing of the notes. You can see that he uses one long note and a lot of short notes as well. This creates a lot of negative space, as you can see it over here, without any notes. But this is really distinctive and also makes it really memorable and catchy to the songs. And this combination of long and short notes just makes everything come alive and just makes the rhythm really cool. With these 2 rhythms combined, you can listen to this song a long time because it just doesn't make it boring. And also allows for a more minimalistic approach, which sometimes can be what you need. But looking a little bit into the sound design of the sound, we can see the first lead. This is just a saw wave, a bit of delay, a bit of hyper dimension just to make it a bit wider. And as you can see here, just a little bit of EQing and also a bit of delays to make it even cooler. And if you go into the lower layer, this is pretty much a saw. And if you look at this, you can say it looks nothing like a saw, but if you disable everything, it sounds a little bit like a saw, but it was changed a little bit here in the wavetable editor, as you can see, but it has the structure of a saw. But he activated the filter, pushed a lot of these frequencies, and again filtered it again. Just to keep it really in the low end, so we have space for the high end as well. You can also go here and expand a little bit of the width of the sound in the higher lead, just to make it a bit wider, and this way a little bit more interesting. So remember, to make a super memorable lead, you not necessarily need to make a super complex lead. Sometimes going simpler is what you need to make it more memorable. And that takes us to our next tip. So let's talk about low end. His track hits really hard and powerful. And that happens because of a nice kick and a really nice bass as well. So let's get started with the kick. As you can see it over here, the kick has a bit of EQing. And we're just pushing it a little bit more here in the knock region and also in the body region. And if you want to make it even more knocky, but you can see that it has this really distinctive knock in the sound. In addition, it's not a super long kick. Normally a kick would be around over here up to 1/8, but this is a little bit smaller, as you can see it. And the way that he makes this low end really powerful is combining with the bass. You can see that the bass has a bit of side chaining. And there's something really cool about this bass, that it's really crunchy and it's really deep, which makes it really nice for the dance floor. What is this kick though? This kick is a combination of two weird wavetables that you can find here in Serum, but it's important to say that you not only have to use sawtooths for your bassline, you can use other wavetables that sometimes combined can give another texture to your bass, making it crunchier and deeper, which is always better for your songs. Without sidechain. Just a bit of compression, a bit of EQing as well. And the plucky sound is coming from this envelope which is attached to this cutoff. Without it. But we want that plucky feeling. And that's about it for your kick and your bass. And if you look into the MIDI of the bass, you can see that what we're doing here is just playing a progression in B minor. Which is the same progression that we had in the low lead, as you see over here. This is playing in a 1/8 manner. So again, another minimalistic approach, but again, super effective and super useful for dance floors as well. With the leads. Now, if you want to listen to it with everything, just sounds really nice, right? So now let's go into our next tip. The drums in Oskar's tracks are really stripped down. He's just basically using the essentials. What is important over here is that the essentials are composed of really good sounds, and that's what matters the most. So if you want to listen to the drums, only the drums. There's a few things that we can take from this one. So let's get started here only with the kick. Short and simple, now he adds a clap and a rim into the 2 and 4 positions of the kick. So listen to the clap. This is a real hand clap to make it feel a little bit more human. And a rim. But check it over here how the hand clap is a little bit shifted. So it gives a pre-shifted clap feeling. Instead of being pa, it's pa, which feels a bit nicer to the ears. Now, in addition to that, he also adds some percussions to add a bit of rhythm. You can combine it as well, sometimes this snap, just to add a little bit extra pressure to the claps and to the rim. But you can see how this off note over here gives a really nice rhythm, which serves as an ear candy for the percussion. Now, in addition, he adds some hats. And notice how this plays slightly over here along with the kick and also in the offbeat as well. And you can reinforce this offbeat clap with something else to make it stand out even more. While this feels a bit more like a shaker, this feels more like an open hat. And combined, you have different characteristics in the sound, which makes it more unique and interesting. To make the song even faster, you can always add a hat loop. This is a hat that plays every 16th note, so as you can see it again, in isolation, in context. As you can see it, nothing too crazy, really minimal, simple but effective, and sometimes that's what you need for your drums as well. But now let's go into our next tip. Can't get you out of my head. In the song Make Me Feel, Oskar just used and flipped an old vocal sample that he probably found online. So you don't need a real vocal to do this. Essentially what you need is to find a good sample, simple yet with a really strong and emotional message, like this one over here. Can't get you out of my head. Get you out of my head. Simple with a good message, and then you just build your whole song around it.
Can't get you out of my head. Get you out of my head. Can't get you out of my head.
Then it's all about the processing of the vocal. In the vocal, we're not doing anything crazy over here. We're doing a little bit of a low cut to get rid of low end frequencies. We're also doing a multi-band dynamics just to control the vocal a little bit. Instead of making the vocal so loud or so quiet in certain moments, using a multi-band dynamics will make your vocal a little bit more compacted, so it's at the same level throughout the whole song. We're also doing a bit of EQing, so just to push a bit of the high-end frequencies, tame a little bit of the mids. But here's the cool thing about these vocals. You can see that here in the mids, we're not doing anything, it's just the mids, but on the sides, we're pushing a bit more of the reverb.
Can't get you out of my head.
I'm gonna make it a bit wider just so you can listen.
Can't get you out of my head.
And this is only on the sides.
Get you out of my head.
Back to normal. In addition to that, we're using here an envelope follower to guide a delay. Check over here this delay, listen how it sits at 35, but watch what happens when the vocal comes in.
Can't get you out of my head.
When the vocal comes in, the envelope follower is saying to this, make it a bit quieter. Essentially what we're doing is, when the vocal is present, we don't want the delays to crowd the original vocal. So we leave the dry signal, and when the dry signal is going down, as you can see here in the envelope follower,
can't get you out of my head.
When this goes down, this goes up, so essentially bringing a bit more delays into the sound.
Can't get you out of my head. Get you out of my head. Can't get you out of my head.
To finish everything, it's always nice to sidechain the vocals a little bit to your kick. And you might ask me why, because it's a vocal. Yeah, even if it's a vocal, you want a little bit of bounciness from the kick to add a little bit of groove into the sound.
Can't get you out of my head. Get you out of my head.
This makes the vocal bounce along with everything in the song, making it a bit more interesting to listen and a bit more groovy as well. In addition to that, you can also add some reverb tails, as you can see it over here.
Can't get you out of my head.
These are just essentially duplicates of what you had before, with a lot of reverb and a lot of delay, just to make it a bit more effective in some parts of the song, as we saw over here.
Can't get you out of my head.
Or over here.
Can't get you out of my head.
And we can also use different bridges. You can see that these are shifted more to the right, more to the left, as you can see this here, just to create a nice dance between left and right with the vocals. And this complements the original vocal, to not have the original vocal all the time. So with this one, we kind of distract the listener a little bit from the original vocal, and then we can come back with the original vocal, not making it so repetitive throughout the whole song. And you can see that in the structure, we go between original vocal and bridges, original vocal and bridges, sometimes original vocal again. And you can add even extra excitement in the song just by adding this auto pan, making it a bit more stereo as well. You can see how this creates really a cool dance over here. But now let's go into our next tip.
Can't get you out of my head.
By now, you can already tell one thing. Oskar has a really minimalistic approach to his arrangement. He's not using many layers on his song, and his song is super effective, and that by itself is a nice takeaway. Instead of overcrowding your song with different elements that don't add any melodic emotion to the song, or even are just cluttering the song, just adding unnecessary stuff into the story, if you have a strong foundation with good sounds and a good emotional hook, sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes you don't need to go into many ear candy elements, and all you need is just to have a good foundation. Now, to show you this, let's take a quick look here into the arrangement. You can see that he starts simple, just kick and bass, then he adds a bit more elements into the song, but staying within the rhythm of his leads, which don't change that much throughout the song. He goes into a break, and then just pretty much finish the song. If you have a minimalistic approach, you have to take one thing into account. Even though it's a minimalistic approach, you can see how he often evolves his songs every 8-bar loop over here. You can see that now he adds a bit more percussions, then he adds even more percussions, then he changes the vocals, then he goes into a breakdown, changing the tonality of the vocal, changing the nuances of the vocals, restarting the drop, adding the vocals, then adding a different set of vocals over here. Just keeping the song interesting and never keeping it repetitive for a long period of time, because if you don't have too many elements and you don't switch up your song, it can end up sounding repetitive over time, which is something that we don't want our listeners to feel. So remember, minimalistic approach always works really well, but make sure to always keep on growing, otherwise it can feel repetitive. And that's about it. If you want to dive even deeper into Oskar sounds, you can check out the Melodic sound pack that you can find over here in the description below called Afterglow. Along with this project, you're gonna get 8 other projects more, along with serum presets and samples to kickstart your next songs. Let me know over here in the comments below which of these tips do you feel that you're gonna use in your next track, and if you like the video, hit the like button. If you love this, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you here in the next video. This is Leo already from Abstract Music Lab signing off. Ciao.